Okay, so we did a video a few days ago now about speedrunning and how influential it is, how popular it is, and there is another version of that that I really want to talk about, and it isn't necessarily what speedrunners do, but it is something that's massively popular within modding in Resident Evil and within the community as a whole. And you can probably tell by the title what it is, and we're going to be talking about the randomizers in Resident Evil games. Now, if you're unaware of what they are, I'll briefly explain what they are now. So it's a mod you can install essentially on any of the games, and what it does is rolls the enemies in the run, okay? So, as you see at the beginning of the footage there, some of the enemies you're dealing with right at the start are enemies from the castle. As you're seeing now in the village section, you've got some of the island enemies covering the area. It does randomize where enemies spawn and what you're up against in every kind of arena, and it really does shake up, you know, your methods, your tactics, and what to expect throughout the game. I for one think these are really cool ideas. I am honestly shocked, and I don't know how they would do it, but I am shocked they haven't implemented it into the games legitimately in some way. It probably would be a little bit toned down in comparison. Like, there's plenty of randomizer mods out there where you literally get a boss fight in like the second arena of the game, and it can be really difficult, but it's such a good idea that surely they would find a way to work it into the game, you know, somehow, you know, whether it's through legitimate means or, you know, DLC or whatever like that. It could be really cool to see, but regardless, it's such a cool idea. I remember way back in the day, a friend of mine had a PC and we had all the Resident Evil games on there, and we did a Resident Evil 1 remake randomizer, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in that game. Like, the first room had like the tyrant in it at the very start of the game, and you had to bail. And what was so good with the Resident Evil 1 randomizer is because there was door animations. Not only were the enemies randomized, but when you went through the door animation and you came into the next room, it would be any room in the game you would be in, and it would be so confusing because you'd have to get through the game somehow by guessing the right room to turn up, and it was such a chore, but it was so much fun. Another thing that's quite popular in the randomizers is the weapons you start with. For example, in Resident Evil 4, in this footage here, you start with a TMP, and that can literally be random. I've seen runs where people started with a knife. I've seen runs where people started with an egg. It is completely random, and that, again, that's what makes it so much fun. Like, you have to play the game in a completely different way to what you're used to, and sometimes it really just throws you in the deep end and you have to deal with it on the fly. And it's so much more fun to do it that way sometimes, especially when you're so used to the game normally. Like, if you played through the game in its normal state so many times, you know what's coming, you know where to go, know what you're going to be fighting, know where weapons are, know where pickups are, and then when you throw in a randomizer, it completely turns that on you, and you don't have a clue what's going to happen or what's going to be in the next room. I think the reason the randomizers are so appealing to me is, you guys know that I like to do challenge runs, and I like to do runs that are purposely difficult because it gives the game more replayability. Again, I'm very limited to what I can do with certain challenge runs. Yes, I've done plenty of different ones through legitimate means. You know, I've done no merchant runs in Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, I've done knife onlys, no damage, no saves, all that kind of stuff. But with randomizers being a PC thing only, I can't do them. I can play them. I do play them every now and again, but because of recording means and stuff like that, I physically can't stream and make videos on them myself, which I really want to do in the future. So I'll definitely be, at some point down the line, definitely get to a point where I'm able to do that. But they add just a whole new depth of difficulty to the game that already is hard, especially, you know, Resident Evil Village, Village of Shadows, Madhouse, Resident Evil 7. You throw a randomizer into the mix, and that game just got 10 times harder than what it is right now. And that is so appealing to me. I know everyone doesn't play Resident Evil games for them to be a challenge. You just play the game to play it. Maybe you'll attempt the hardest difficulty. Maybe you'll just try and get clear on the hardest difficulty. But there's other people out there, a lot of people out there, that play the games for a new challenge, to do something new, to test how good they are at the game overall. And yeah, randomizers are such a big part of that. As I mentioned briefly at the start, you know, randomizers are almost core to the speedrunning community as well. You know, you see speedrunners doing randomizers, and the fact that they can still do it fairly quickly, regardless of what they're put against, just shows how good they are at the game and how they know how to deal with everything that comes their way. I think speedrunners really do deserve more credit because they spend so much time with that one game that they know it like the back of their hand. I think the one game in Resident Evil I know like the back of my hand compared to all the rest is Resident Evil 7. I've played that game through so many times. I don't think I've forgot anything that happens in that game. I know it so well. And I know the other ones quite well as well, but Resident Evil 7 is the one where I know how to deal with everything that comes my way. And the fact they can do it on multiple games very easily is insane. But overall, I would say randomizers are a good addition to the community, to the modding community as well. And they're such a good idea. They're so simple but so effective as well. It really does throw you for a loop. And I can't wait to see, more made in future titles, or more versions of them are a lot harder. And it is just really cool to see. So let me know what you all think of them. Have you ever tried one? Have you ever beat one? What, if you have, which game was it? How did it go? Do let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe for more Resident Evil content on a daily basis. And I'll catch you all in tomorrow's video.